It's 11:03. Refresh. Nope, nothing from Pete Thamel. 248-539-9797.
What did he do to you?
He's Mr. Unnamed Sources.
I know, but
he's all over the story. But when there's a story that might implicate somebody else in the Big Ten, let me refresh again. Nope. 248-539-9797.
So you're upset because he didn't retweet an AP story.
He retweeted other stories yesterday from other media outlets in regards to this.
And there were other stories he didn't. Like he didn't retweet the Ryan Day story.
Yep.
And you're upset that he didn't retweet the Larry Lage Associated Press story.
Yep.
Okay.
248-539-9797.
I think there's more to it.
Let's go to Matt. You're next on 97.1 The Ticket. Hi, Matt.
Nice.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, guys. So I guess to the crux, I've been a Michigan fan for like 30 years now. The crux of the matter is I'm just sick of Harbaugh. I'm sick of him taking his shirt off. I'm sick of him climbing up in trees. I'm sick of him doing stupid stuff during dead periods. And now this is just like the latest chapter of Harbaugh fatigue. So, like, I just want him gone because I don't want to wake up every morning and just hear some more garbage about Michigan or who did and didn't know what about what's on a laptop somewhere. And maybe, Doug, you could substantiate this. There was a report, I think, last week that there was a Google Sheets with Connor Stallions and members of the coaching staff. Is that
that's again, that's a rumor, but I don't think. I mean, the Big Ten came in, or excuse me, the NCAA came in and saw and took all of it, and what they turned over to the Big Ten so far says there are no findings linking it to Harbaugh. Now, are there members of the coaching staff? That's another thing. That
I guess my 2 cents is if there's a member of the coaching staff who is on this Google sheet with Connor Stallions that says these are their calls, this is how they're done. And you've got one member of the coaching staff being an assistant, somebody in the secondary coach's ear, calling the right play or the right defense every single time. Don't you think Harbaugh would take notice? Man, I've got a staffer over here with Mike McDaniel or Jesse Minter, who always seems to know what the other team's doing. Man, I should figure out how this guy is always on the ball because I want to promote that guy. I want that guy to be more a part of the staff because he's got a.
He may have been trending, Matt. He very well might be trending. Have been trending in that direction when they figured out what was going on. So,
and they did promote him technically, right?
He went from being a volunteer to
a member of the staff.
Yeah. So an analyst. As far as your Harbaugh, you're sick of the drama with Harbaugh. I mean, I kind of can understand how some people would say there's too much noise. I mean, Jim is what he is. He got the nickname the Jackhammer for a reason. He makes people uncomfortable. He absolutely seems to wade into areas that, like the first thing, one of the first things he does is the satellite camps, and they make a rule against it. Like, Jim rattles cages, and if it's something you don't like, I kind of understand it.
Is that caller sick of 22-1 the last 23 games? I mean, as State fans, I mean, there's right now, he's not the perfect coach, obviously, and there's a lot of drama that comes with Jim Harbaugh. And in a perfect world, I think you want a coach to win your football games, stay out of the media, right, and do everything clean.
But
it's not always like that.
No,
and
but
I think fans care more about winning than anything.
They do. Fans do, right? As Michigan State's obsession with wanting to get Urban Meyer to be the next head coach, of course. But at the same time, you want to be able to enjoy it controversy-free.
Of course.
And the last 15 months from Michigan, there's been an extraordinary amount of controversy with that program. And it coincides with having a couple of playoff runs. And I think this is what has Michigan fans, if they're upset, not all of them are upset, but if they are upset, it's because can't we just get on without having these dumb distractions?
Sure.
And that's the thing, right?
Whether it's minor infractions that are being blown up to be mountains or it's players that have done stupid things.
They are distractions.
Yes.
They absolutely are distractions. If a player did some things that, was distracting the team, they'd hear about it. And in this particular case, it very well may be the head coach. It may not be the head coach because it may not tie back to him. But, in getting to know Jim Harbaugh as a coach, there was all the way back to what's your deal, which was Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh after USC Stanford. And then there was the aggressive handshake with so there's if Jim Harbaugh is your coach, okay, you kind of know that you are getting a cage rattler and a guy that stuff happens around him. That's part of his story. He is adamant, though, and has been adamant on and off the record when questioned about things that are out there about, I'm a rule follower. I am a rule follower. He's been adamant about it. Now, people will roll their eyes. I got it. Get it? Saying that changes nobody's opinion. But he insists he's a rule follower.
But no one's out going to say, I break all the rules.
No, but here's what I think he does.
Or you're going to say no comment. So there's no comment or avoid the topic is something that...
I think he knows the rule book backwards and forwards, and I think he knows how to walk right up to the line and without stepping over that line in his mind. Maybe he bends that line. But he knows what the rules are. I agree with that. I think he knows damn well what the rules are. And he pushes the envelope as far as he can go, and he tests the limits. And it's up, the NCAA, if they think he's stepped over, then they're going to come down on it. But I don't know. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a hell of a football coach. But I also think in a lot of people's minds that they're tired of it. Well, they're not tired of winning.
That caller was.
Because they think that they can maybe win with somebody else.
The second you get a coach that doesn't say a word and starts losing a bunch of games, they're going to be like, I wish we had Jim Harbaugh back because we won games, and I don't care that he was weird and all this stuff. Yeah, people just want to win in the end, and it's not going to be perfect every time.
And I mean, it's absolutely clear that the people he gets under the skin the most are rival schools. And if you think about it, you can make the case, well, what's wrong with that? Now, the problem is when you're bringing in the NCAA. And when this is all said and done, I don't know what's going to come of this season. This season all hinges on what happens Saturday. And it's a pretty safe assumption that will be a fairly played game. But if they lose that game Saturday and they lose to Ohio State, it might change a lot of people's opinions and whether or not the distractions were too much. The other thing to keep in mind is, like the caller, as he brought up, if Jim Harbaugh, when this is all said and done, is still Michigan's coach, and they actually sign him to an extension, and whatever punishment is doled out, and this is in the rearview mirror, and he's still the coach, I doubt it's going to end necessarily, but I will tell you this. Jim Harbaugh has changed. Jim Harbaugh, when he first got to Michigan, was heavily involved on social media. Heavily involved, tweeting, and here's me with this celebrity and that celebrity, and drawing attention to himself. And he has geared that part of his persona back. He had his own podcast, and he has changed.